If you haven't ever heard about something like an intense brain child, you want to know this because it can shape how you parent and how you don't parent. There are certain styles of parenting, such as permissive parenting, where we're so worn down by the controlling and demanding behaviors that we're just like, fine, do it on your own. And you let go of boundaries, or you're not sure how to get through because you're so exhausted. That permissive parenting is not going to be a good match for a child who has intense brain wiring. And I said already, authoritarian parenting, if we're looking at the pendulum swing or the spectrum here, you will obey me and you get sterner and firmer, and you become this angry person this angry parent when you were never an angry person. And so I'm seeing now also by your comment about some of these are the things that happens at a different household with a different caregiver that your child has, or a different parent that they have. And the good news is that when you have these tools, what we're doing is we're building relationship with your child, because they're like ducklings where they imprint on the grown up around them. So things might not be great, and that's going to be their relationship with the other parent at the other house, which is, of course, devastating at times, very hard to see. It's heart-wrenching and causes us grief and sadness and anger. But what we can do is we can empower the relationship that we have with our child. So if they have a great teacher and you're like, man, they just like get in that rhythm, this is exactly what they need. You're starting to notice some of the tools that work for them at school may work for them at home. We just want to know, what does that look like in parenting, right? Or vice versa. Maybe there are some things the teacher's doing and they're like, you got to give them consequences at home, and they're being strict and consequence oriented at school. And it's like, wait a minute, maybe we actually need to build more relationship. And what we do, what my offer to you is that the best way to change your kid's behavior from a parenting perspective is to monitor your fire. So you want to know, what does your fire in the brain look like? So you've probably been thinking about multiple people. You're thinking about what your kid's fire looks like, what happens at dad's house, a different house than you're living in, is what does your fire look like? Do you tend to yell? Does a co-parent tend to do that? Do they get harsh with their consequences, lock kids in rooms or out of the house, threaten to take away screens forever or cancel holidays, family trips, like things that aren't really going to happen? Is there more flight? Is there like, I can't do this, and there's walking away, and you forget or don't know to say, I'm overwhelmed and I'll come back? Do you just check out and tune out, and that's your flee behavior? Like, that's fine. Or is it permissive? Do you have more of the fawning, like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, and you're like encouraging and persuading and bribing and trying to make it better. And in the meantime, there's just all these feelings, and now you're worn out because you're constantly trying to help your kid not have these feelings or make it go away or stop. So when we're talking about what's happening beneath challenging childhood behavior, I want you to understand how powerful you are. That kids and grown-ups, we all have mirror neurons in our brain, and these reflect the state another person is in. So what this means, to really have it make sense, is when Charlie's melting down, this is the first time in my adult life. I was only 22 years old. I graduated really early from grad school. I was on a fast track. I remember looking down at him, and like I was sweating and I wanted to give up, and I was filled with rage. And I thought, this is what my dad talked about when he said, I'm boiling inside. I'm sorry that I'm laughing. It's not funny when you're in the moment, but I get it, right? Like Charlie's upset reaction triggered my fight response. It triggered the rage inside of me. And so mirror neurons work in two ways. It's going to influence your child's behavior, is going to influence your downstairs brain and reaction, and you might find yourself doing things that you don't want to be doing. But your reaction also has the ability to trigger their mirror neurons. So if you're loud and big, this is like enraging the already barking dog. How do we stay away from threatening and enraging? How do we calm the fire in the situation? And it's such a powerful starting point. It's not all of it, that I literally, though, printed these postcards that say calm body, calm voice, calm face. So when the question I always get is, so what do I do during those moments of meltdown? Well, first you breathe and you calm your body and you calm your voice and you calm your face. And these are the things you may have done at certain times in your kid's life, like when they were a baby and you're rocking them. We're trying to calm them and have soft body and soft voice and slow things down. The same thing is true for our 12-year-old. except we're not rocking and we're not using cooing noises with them. So when you can control or become aware that you're getting triggered and what you do is going to create a mirror for how your child recovers, we understand how influential we are.